So again, thank you all for joining us today. So we are going to cover three areas. So we're going to cover Treasure Island over over near Tampa. We're going to cover Central Florida, and we're going to cover Jacksonville. So we have three specialists that know Florida, love Florida, and you're going to learn a little bit about the market in the different areas, the lifestyle, what's going on, what we're seeing. So our first speaker will be Chase Walseth over in Treasure Island, and he's going to kind of go through everything about Treasure Island. So Chase, take it away.
All right, sounds good. So I want to throw in that while our office and most of our business is in Treasure Island and St. Pete Beach, the whole general area is technically Tampa Bay. So we work Clearwater, St. Petersburg, Treasure Island, St. Pete Beach, Madeira Beach, the Reddingtons. I think there's 11 different municipalities up and down the beaches, and there's something like 25 municipalities or more in our general area. So really we work all of the Tampa Bay region, but really Clearwater, St. Pete, it is our hub. So I guess what I love most about this area is probably the reason both my parents and I chose to move to this area in the first place. We've only been here, I think this is year 11 for them and year 10 for me. And really, I think most people choose to be in this area over other areas like Sarasota or Naples or something like that because it's I want to say diversity, but I don't want to say that in a way that confuses people. So we have university presences here. We have University of South Florida. We have St. Petersburg College. We have a great law school down here as well. So there is some university driven traffic. There's also some of the best beaches literally in the country. So Clearwater Beach consistently ranks in the top 3 or 4 beaches in the country over and over and over again. Weather is a huge factor. Obviously, all of us are in Florida, so we get that, but don't quite get as hot as Naples and don't get as cold as Destin, those types of areas. We rarely see freezing temperatures. You know, that's what I love about this area. And then there's really there's the beaches, which is like its own lifestyle and feeling. And then there's downtown St. Petersburg, which has just exploded over the last 10 years. When I moved to the area, downtown St. Pete was not the nicest of areas. And now it is just booming. I think we have something like 11 skyscrapers going up right now. We have hedge funds from New York moving into the area. We have developers from Miami moving into the area. You know, Kathy Woods and ARK Investment chose St. Petersburg to be her hub. So there's a lot of money pouring into downtown St. Pete, and really the food and culture and the whole scene has changed downtown St. Pete quite a bit. So that's why I think people generally move to this area. And that's what I love about the area too. You know, if you want to have a really chill, nice, relaxing beach day, you go to any one of our 11 beach municipalities and you can jump right on the beach. But if you want something a little bit more thriving, booming, you know, downtown St. Petersburg has the Tampa Bay Rays. You know, right across the bridge, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Tampa Bay Lightning, all three of which have won championships in the last, 5 years. So it's a really, really thriving place. Next, I guess we'll talk a little bit about price ranges. Prices are all over the place, depending on what you want. Big house on the water, you're starting at $1 million. Truly not even a big place on the water. A tiny little house on the water is, $880,000 or $900,000. If you want a decent size, average 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1960s built single story home on the water, you're probably starting at 1.1, 1.2 million, somewhere in there. And then price ranges go all the way up to, $5, $6, $7 million. Price ranges for condos with a little water view or a townhouse with a water view, start in the $350,000, $400,000 range. For a 1-bedroom, not that much more for a 2-bedroom with a water view. but they go up significantly once you get a full Gulf view, or if you have the ability to rent them out short term. So that's another little goat trail I'll go off on. Short-term rentals are huge in this area. It's really, really thriving. In fact, we just saw some big corporate money come in Vacasa has been buying up a whole bunch of, I guess, mom and pop vacation rental companies. Vacasa is a pretty sizable vacation rental management company that I think just got another round of funding from Wall Street, and has been purchasing quite a few vacation rental property management companies in the area, and are really pouring into this area. I would say every municipality up and down the beaches has some form of short-term rentals to compete with hotels, but primarily you see that in Indian Rocks, Indian Shores, and Madeira Beach. There's quite a bit of it up in Clearwater Beach as well, but most of that is controlled by the hotels. And then St. Pete Beach and Treasure Island each have their own semblance of resorts or condo hotel type units as well. And those have really been my niche market for the last 10 years. People will purchase a unit, use it for 1 or 2 weeks out of the year, and then rent it out on a nightly, 3-day or weekly basis, so they can make money when they're not here, or at the very least pay for all their HOA fees, pay for all their taxes, pay for their insurance, and have a break even appreciating asset that they're not using when or that is growing in value while they're not using it. And most of my clients have been really, really happy with that. Average prices for single family homes, I think we just hit 530,000, something like that. Your typical home, is still probably I think our median home price is something like 430 or 440, with the average being brought up by some of those outliers in the top categories, but still in that $400,000 to $500,000 range. St. Petersburg, like I said, has just been thriving a lot lately. We have a lot of festivals that come into town. We have a lot of, if you go on like Facebook events, you can find something to do every single night of the week. There's a bar crawl, or there's a food and wine festival, or there's a Saturday morning market where they're closing off streets. I'm taking my daughter, they're closing off, I think 10, 11, 12 or 13 blocks on Central Avenue, which is just our main drag in downtown St. Pete, for Halloween, the day before Halloween on Sunday. So they close everything down for the day, and then the kids and parents and everybody just walk down Central Avenue. All the businesses can hold their doors open, hand out candy, hand out swag, that type of thing. There's always something like that going on. It's really fun. Most popular time of the year is probably over spring break. I would say the winter months, where we see a lot of snowbirds, and you see a big influx of snowbirds up and down the beaches, probably starting January and going through April. Spring break, our population swells to a little over 1 million people in the Pinellas County, which is St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Largo, Seminole, those areas. So I think that's our definite most popular time of the year. The market overall has been really good. It's a shifting and shifted market, not from seller's market to buyer's market, but more, we're seeing some macroeconomic tendencies that are trickling down and affecting us. So, with the Fed raising rates, we've seen interest rates swell, and homes are less affordable, especially with price increases. I think we had price increases of upwards of 30% in some of our areas year over year, and now that's closer to probably 20%. So if something was, say, $400,000 last year, 20% increase is probably $480,000 this year. It really has been pretty drastic. So And then interest rates going up has just made things less affordable for people who are putting less money down. Overall in this area, we have a cash buyer percentage hovering around 35 to 40%. So 35 to 40% of all deals in this area are with cash. I think that's probably only second to like Naples, which is a little bit higher than that. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but we do have quite a few cash transactions down here. That's not to say that a conventional buyer or even an FHA or VA buyer can't compete. You just probably need to tighten those terms up a little bit. What a buyer or a seller should expect in this market right now is probably two different things. Patience is going to be key. So, you know, we went from being super spoiled and having 5 to 7 days on the market. That was our average. I mean, you listed it on a Thursday, you had multiple offers, multiple showings over the weekend, and you were accepting one of the 7 or 8 offers on Monday. It was really that fast. That market is now gone. You know, every once in a while, you'll see this perfect, pristine property that'll have something like that. But our average days on the market went from 6 to 21, and that number is still climbing. So inventory has swelled a little bit as well. And that's leading to some of these things happening. But for the most part, it is interest rates and buyers and affordability. I wouldn't say it's demand necessarily. I just think it's demand from people who can afford a $500,000 house with an 8% mortgage rate or a 7.5% mortgage rate. It's a lot fewer and far between. So buyers are getting 96% of original price to sale price ratio as opposed to 101% now. Sellers are having to negotiate a little bit. You're not having to waive your appraisals anymore. You're not having to go way above asking price if above asking price at all. You're able to ask for some inspection related items to be either corrected or have a credit for them. And of course, these aren't sweeping, all-encompassing statements. They're just a general average deal. This is sort of what we're seeing. So if people are priced out of St. Petersburg, Clearwater, those types of areas, there's what I call a ring around Pinellas County where people are generally moving to. And that starts in the north in like Newport Richey and Trinity, over to Lutz and more towards Central Florida. There's a lot of new construction happening in Lutz and Land O'Lakes and Wesley Chapel areas. Much up northeast towards where Amanda is. Further south of that, Apollo Beach is still very affordable compared to this area. So is Ruskin and Valrico and those areas as well. So where there is land and where we haven't been developed fully since the 60s, there's a lot more affordability. In fact, I'm seeing a lot of my clients that I originally sold houses to in the 2012 to 2014 selling in Pinellas, an old 1960s 3-bed, 1-bath house, and they're buying an almost brand new construction house in these outer areas 30-40 minutes outside of town for the exact same price. So there is still some affordability, but you're going to be 30 or 40 minutes outside of St. Pete, Clearwater in that $300,000 to $400,000 price range. So that's a general overview of our area. So anything else you'd like me to add? Any questions?
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Specifically on the short-term rentals. So
Sure.
In your experience for the areas where short-term rentals has become more prevalent, have you had any issues with county regulations coming in and pausing short-term rentals? Because I know in Orange County, you can only do a short-term rental if you live on the property. Yeah. So that's there's a lot of, and I have a lot of investor clients that are getting into that short-term rental game. So that's a very big.
That's an awesome question. And that's why you need somebody who really understands each specific municipality or county or city regulation. So generally speaking, there are areas in which the city or the municipality has said, we love short-term rentals, we approve short-term rentals, please bring them to our area. We want more buyers, we want more money. Those areas right now are Largo, City of Largo, unincorporated Pinellas County, which encompasses a large part of Seminole, Largo, Pinellas Park, a little bit of North St. Pete. I can kind of bring it up on a map later if you'd like. And then there are a couple of beach municipalities. Indian Rocks and Indian Shores don't have any restrictions on short-term rentals either. Every beach has its own specific regulations depending on where you're zoned. So if you're just in like a regular residential, medium, single-family house, most restrictions are going to be 30 to 90-day minimums. If you're not in Largo, unincorporated Pinellas, Indian Rocks, or Indian Shores. We actually teach a beach class, which will be going on, I think, next week. I can send out a link to Amanda and she can share it on social as well. But we talk about each nuances or all the nuances of all the different beaches. But as far as the county or the state or anything is concerned, it's very municipality specific. So unincorporated Pinellas County allows nightly rentals in a residential single-family neighborhood. St. Petersburg is a 30-day minimum. City of Clearwater, which is the second largest, is a 30-day minimum. And then all the different municipalities up and down the beaches have their own set of rules. But generally speaking, if you're not Largo, unincorporated Pinellas, Indian Rocks, or Indian Shores, you're going to be roughly a 30-day minimum. Treasure Island has a super unique rule. They allow 5 changes of occupancy per year. And they don't have any restrictions on the amount of times you can rent it. So that's one that can be fudged a little bit. You know, who's counting how many changes of occupancy unless you have a super nosy neighbor. And then a lot of the municipalities are just one-man shows, two-man shows. So they have a hard time regulating and fining and restricting and policing all of these rentals as well. So, you know, as long as you're not treating a single family home like a hotel motel and have people in there every single night, or, you know, if you're just doing weekly rentals or something like that, there's a little bit more fudge room. But as a real estate agent, you have to present the facts. You know, this is a 30-day minimum. Whatever you do after, you know, I tell you that is entirely up to you, but just know that the city in their municipal code says that this is a 30-day minimum. So I hope that answers most of your questions, Gabriel. And if you want to jump on a call with me, or if you want to shoot me an email, I'd be more than happy to send you my comprehensive list of where all the different restrictions are.
Yeah, actually, that'd be great. I've had a few clients reach out to me in the past asking for like areas in Florida too.
Yeah. And then most things up and down Gulf Boulevard, like right on the Gulf or right across the street from the Gulf, are zoned commercial tourists. So, you know, if you're right on the Gulf of Mexico, good chances are you can do nightly rentals as long as the HOA doesn't restrict it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Amanda, should take it from here.
Yeah. So next up, so I'm going to be talking about Central Florida. So Central Florida, we have Orlando, we have Seminole County, we have Orange County, Osceola County. I would say out of the 3 markets, we're the most affordable. We have a lot more tourists though too. So we have Disney, we have Universal, we have SeaWorld, we have all sorts of theme parks, but we also have we have a national zoo here. We're about 50 minutes to an hour from the beaches. So we have the East Coast is definitely closer than the Tampa side. The Tampa side is probably like an hour and a half-ish. So it's not far. And then what I like about Central Florida is it's central pretty much to everything. So you can drive 3.5 hours. You're, you know, in Miami, you go up north, you can be in Jacksonville, I think in about 2 hours, 2.5, go to St. Augustine for like all the Christmas lights. So you're never really far from anything. And if theme parks aren't really your thing and you want to do day trips, you're not very far from anything. And then we also have an international airport. So you can, you know, get in the car and go to the airport and be wherever you want to be. But there's a lot of different options here. There's a lot of festivals all the time. So just as Chase was saying, oh, there's like things for Halloween, they close down the streets. So in Winter Garden, which is right on the other side, so on the west side of Orlando, they have 11 days of Halloween, which I thought was pretty cool. So they have all different activities for the kids for 11 days. So it's not just one night. Down in Celebration, which is below Orlando, which is a town that Disney made. They have a whole street that's decorated for Halloween as well. They also have a bunch of stuff for Christmas. So just all the different holidays. There's just so many activities and festivals that you're never going to be bored. There's a lot of car events here too. So we have so many car events. And I would say on average, there's at least 4, if not like 20 a day. Like it's really exploded, which is kind of interesting. We have more land here. So as much as I love the beach, there's not a lot of land near the beach. So what we have is we have land. So there's a lot more new construction opportunities that we're seeing over here. Volusia County, so Orlando's here, we have Seminole County, and then we have Volusia County. So it's kind of going towards like New Smyrna up that way, getting closer to Jacksonville. There's a lot more land and a lot more single family homes that are coming on under 400,000. So it's it's very affordable. Whereas I feel like a lot of other places, like even to buy newer houses, like new single families in Orlando has gotten pretty pricey. Our appreciation here in Seminole, it went up like 40% over the last 2 years. So if you bought something at 500, it now is worth like 750, 800. So a lot of people are getting priced out of Central Florida. So they're going further up. Where are most people coming from when they are coming to Central Florida? So a lot of our people are either coming from Miami or they're coming down from New York. So that's where a lot of our people are coming, just because of affordability. Our weather, it's incredible. It's not, the summer's hot, but I always tell my northern clients, like, you're in your house for a solid 6 months in the winter because it's cold. Like you just switch your thinking and you're just gonna be inside your house in the summer because it's hot. You're gonna have your air conditioning on, you can go to the beach, you can go to the pool. So it is get hot in the summer, but you'll have, your winter, you'll be very enjoyable. Condos. So our condos, and I pulled up for Orlando, we have condos as low as 55,000 and then all the way up to 2.75 million. So quite the range on condos. I would say you could get a fairly normal condo for like 200,000 to 300,000 range. Townhomes, 143 up to 1.3 million, and then single family homes as low as 89,000 and then as much as 25 million. So again, quite the range. But the average is around 440,000 for all the prices, all the homes. Active inventory. So right now in Orlando, we have, pull it up. We have 2,139 active homes, which is up considerably. So in the spring, so we saw a big shift over the summer. So spring was still crazy. January, I would say January through May, there was still a lot of competitive offers, a lot of cash buyers, and houses were getting 3 to 9 offers. Like that was kind of the norm. And then kind of summertime, it all shifted and it was less cash buyers and then just less buyers in general. So now houses we're getting 1 to 3 offers, if any offers. The days on market, it used to be 22. Now it's up to, I believe it's like 69 days. So it's definitely gone way up. Days on market's gone up. Prices have gone up, but with the rates, how they've jumped so much, a lot of buyers are holding off. We are seeing a lot more FHA and VA buyers getting accepted, but we're also having issues with houses not appraising. So there's a lot of things going on in the market that are changing things. So we had some buyers that were on the fence in January. They pre-qualified for a $400,000 house, but where rates are now, they only can afford a $280,000 house. So just things have changed in the market that we're like having to adjust. Prices haven't dropped considerably, but the average price has definitely gone up. Days on market's gone up, and then there's less buyers out buying. Let's see. Yeah, and as I said, like a lot of people are relocating here from either New York or from Miami. We have a lot of different things to do. And that's all I had for Central Florida. Mike, did you want to go in and start talking about Jacksonville?
Absolutely. And thank you. So Mike Rolewicz, I run a team. Office is in Jacksonville Beach, Florida, but we cover all of Northeast Florida, which is, I think it's a 6-county region in our MLS. So we've got Jacksonville, the Jacksonville beaches. We've got Ponte Vedra Beach. We've got Nocatee, which is one of the years ago, within the last 2 years, I think it was the #3 master plan community in all of the US. Incredible resort-like amenities. That's in St. Johns County, which is also the #1 school district in the state of Florida. And then to the north, we've got Amelia Island, Fernandina, and Yulee, where a lot of our new development is happening, because to Amanda's point, that's where the land is. So that's where the builders are going. And to the south and west, we've got Orange Park, Fleming Island, and Green Cove Springs. Our market, very similar to Chase and Amanda's, big inflow market, a lot of relocation. I'm pretty sure over a third to almost half of our buyer side traffic this year on 60+ transaction have been folks that are relocating to the area, whether that's relocating to a 55+ retiree or a work from anywhere type person, or people that are coming to work for companies like Dun & Bradstreet that move their entire operation from New Jersey to Jacksonville, or coming with Mayo Clinic from Rochester or Scottsdale. So a lot of what drives our economy here, a lot of banking, a lot of fintech, a lot of healthcare and medical tourism. Again, we're one of 3 sites with Mayo Clinic, and Mayo is adding, I think, a 5th floor to their main hospital, which is 4 floors now. And that campus, so I've lived here 25 years, that campus has exploded in the time that I've been here. In terms of price points, our median price point's right around 400. Certainly there are opportunities for single family 2-1, 3-1 that you can pick up for 100,000 or less. And a lot of investors like those. Most of those are on the north and northwest sides of the downtown core. Higher end properties, most of those are along the coast or along the St. Johns River, which runs north and south through the city. Highest price sale this year, $12 million on the Atlantic Ocean on a 100-foot lot in Ponte Vedra Beach. In that Ponte Vedra Beach area, which again, St. Johns County, you've got a AAA 5-diamond Ponte Vedra Inn Club that has 2 golf courses. A lot of folks, that's where they want to be for schools and for proximity to their 2 clubs. In terms of recreation, things to do in and around Northeast Florida, golf is everywhere. I mean, you can't drive in a 3-mile radius and not hit 2 or 3 golf courses. I don't care where you are. Boating is big. We've got the Intracoastal Waterway running along the coast. We've got the St. Johns River a little bit inland. So this weekend, air show was in town, Blue Angel. So everybody that had a boat dropped that thing in the nearest boat ramp, ran down outside of Naval Air Station Jacksonville, just south of downtown, and watched that from the water. We host the Players Championship every year, which is the 5th major, they say, on the PGA Tour. So it's the highest purse, typically the strongest field assembled. So that's at the PGA headquarters location at TPC Sawgrass. We don't quite have the reputation for beaches like Chase does down his way in terms of #1 ranked beaches, but I live in Jacksonville Beach myself. It's a fine beach, big fan of it. And then obviously down through Ponte Vedra Beach, St. Augustine Beach as well. There's some areas you can drive on the beach in St. Augustine, and also there's a drivable beach up in north of Atlantic Beach called Huguenot Park. So what drives our short-term rental market? The beaches do real well, as do properties that are in and around Mayo Clinic. A ton of medical tourism. So you get folks coming in for 6-week to 6-month courses of treatment at Mayo, don't want to live in a hotel, so they'll find a home. There's an area called Isle of Palms, which is, I mean, it's literally across the street from Mayo, so those homes do extremely well. Another affiliated hospital, Baptist, has a MD Anderson Cancer Center now. So there's an area called San Marco, which is on the southeast side of downtown. That area is starting to pick up in medical tourism as well for folks getting treated in that area. And not to be a broken record, but we're seeing the same things. The impact of interest rates has really taken some of the heat out of our market. So our days on market of 37 as of September is up 105% from this time last year. List to sold ratios hovering at just under 98%. That's been over 100 recently. Active inventory up 87% year over year. Our month supply of inventory is up almost 200% because closed and pending sales are down 35%. So you take sales out, you add inventory up, that absorption rate ticks up a bit. So we're at 3.4 months across our MLS. Some submarkets are now beyond 4, almost 5 months of inventory. So those are the sellers where we're having very different conversations and looking less at what has sold and a whole lot more as to what is active to figure out how do we make yours the next property that sells when inventory is continuing to stack up. But year over year, we're holding on to those gains. We are starting to see some month over month marginal declines, not 20% crashes, but 2 and 3% adjustments to that median sales price. And I think until interest rates come down, even though people love Northeast Florida, no state income tax, great climate, until people can afford a home again, that's been the squeeze across the board. So that's my story, what I love. Forgot to mention, I did mention our waterways, but great fishing too here inshore, in the river, offshore as well.
Well, perfect. Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for any of us? No? Okay. Well, I guess thank you all for joining us, and we will send out the recording later on today. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thanks for putting together.
All right. Bye.
Thanks, Amanda.